Quick aside, 30 minutes of recording done, editing beginning, and I've just realised the audio is fucked. I think I recorded through the fucking laptop mic and not the mic that I had attached to the laptop, so it's... I'm going to try my best to salvage it, but I'm not re-recording this whole episode, so just make do with subpar audio. I'm sorry! Welcome back to Manga Tuesday, episode 129. I am the Darcy. And today I shall be reviewing Kashimashi, Girl Meets Girl. At the core of Kashimashi is a love triangle, two girls who are both into the same guy. Except, wait a minute, that guy just turned into a girl. Hazumu is the guy in question and he's killed by some alien activity, and the alien attempts to revive him, and in the process of which, for some reason, he gets completely reborn at the molecular level as a female. You might think the story focuses heavily on some trans themes, with the main character guy that turns into a girl, Hazumu, him/her dealing with this change and coming to terms with it, and how does he feel about it, and what are these changes going on in his body. But not necessarily. There's not really that much of a focus from his perspective on his change. He, now her, kind of just accepts it pretty quickly, quite frankly. There's a bit of a learning curve, and that'll play into things in the story where he need help buying a bra because he doesn't know what to buy, and different things that he's not familiar with. But he'll slowly learn and become more ladylike, so to say. But pretty quickly, he just accepts the changes. Okay, I'm a girl now. Like, what am I going to do? There's nothing I can really do about it. It is what it is. I feel like he accepts it so quickly and decidingly that it almost begs the question, what's the point? Like, why make him a guy that turns into a girl? Why not just make him a girl to begin with? Now, while the change doesn't seem to impact Hazumu all that much, he accepts it pretty quickly. It does impact all of the characters around him, all his friends. And there is a fair bit of a focus on them and their reactions to this, sudden, shocking change. One of the girls in the love triangle couldn't see boys' faces at all, but she could always kind of see Hazumu's, which is somewhat telling. But now she can fully see him and she has these feelings for him. And the other was a long-time childhood friend, the other girl in the triangle, but she has a crush on him, but now him is a her, and she's never had lesbian thoughts before, but now it's how does she feel? How is she going to react? Her feelings. And his best friend, a guy, now his best friend is now just randomly turned into a girl, and wait a minute, he finds him a bit attractive. This is a very awkward and weird for him, and he also has to deal with the distance between them growing as Hazumu becomes closer with his female friends now, and the distance between his former best friend, who's a male. There's certain problems that arise and have to be dealt with. That was worded terribly. That could be said about any Manga Tuesday ever, but okay. So while I feel like there's not a lot of focus on Hazumu himself dealing with this change, although his quick acceptance of the change might be telling in itself, there is a decent amount of focus on the other characters around him. Including, I forgot to mention, his parents. His mother is now like, hey, I have a daughter. We can shop together or whatever and stuff. And he's now her father decides to become an incestual pedophile. He turns into a big creep. All of a sudden, he wants to take a bath with his now her daughter, now that he has turned into a her, and other creepy things. Definitely the worst part of the manga. Anyone that's read it seems to agree on that point. He's a bit of a weirdo, Hazumu's dad. In fact, I believe they're in high school, so it's last year maybe, so it's possible Hazumu might already be 18, so maybe the pedophile allegations I'll have to retract, but I think the incest part is bad enough on its own anyway. Luckily, it's not too much of a focus. It's just a dumb, quick gag every now and then that usually results in the mother just smacking him over the head or locking him out of the house or something as he cries like a incestual pedophilic creep. It's just dumb and unnecessary, but it's pretty easy to just, ignore for the most part. So, back to what I was saying. While there is importance and there is a focus on him changing from a guy into a girl, I would still say that's not the main focus. The main focus is the love triangle. It's this competitive love situation, and who's he going to pick, or will he pick neither, or will he pick both and go the poly route? What's going to happen? That is the driving force and the hook, the enticing part of the manga, I felt. And partway through, things take a bit of a twist. Slight spoiler alert, but the alien... Oh, did I forget to mention the alien that killed him comes down to Earth in human form, along with the spaceship, which I think that's how it killed him. The spaceship hit him or something. I don't know. The spaceship is also turned into a human form, and the alien and the spaceship come and live with Hazumu in his home, and they're sort of studying him for their own planet. It's particularly focusing on the human emotions, particularly love, as the alien is watching these feelings of love unfold and things. But he's also doing some tests on Hazumu, and about halfway through he determines and realizes Hazumu's life grains or whatever are running extremely low, and basically that Hazumu is going to die. Essentially, it reveals that apparently everyone has some sort of life clock in them that's counting down, and there's nothing that can be done about it. Once it runs out, you will die some way or another, and Hazumu is going to die very, very shortly, and there's essentially nothing that can be done about it. Certainly takes a dark twist, but then it is revealed that perhaps there is maybe something that can be done with potentially sharing someone else's life grains with him, now her. A little long explanation short, it basically comes down to the fact of, he knows both of these women, that both of the girls have feelings for him, and he has some feelings for both of them, but he doesn't know which one is the true love. But he's basically going to have to pick, and if he picks right, they will be able to, the alien will be able to share life grains between them. But if he picks wrong, if the love isn't truly and doesn't last forever, if they're not truly, unequivocally reciprocated feelings forever and always, it would lead to the death of both of them. And obviously, if he doesn't choose either, it would lead to the death of him, now her. But if he picks the right one, then their life grains will be... he can take half of her life... He now her can take half of her life grains, which... I feel like that isn't given much focus of... It's a little dark, it's going to cut one of their lives in half. So they're both going to have a drastically shortened lifespan now, if he can make a decision and if he can make the right decision. It adds a heightened levity, a heightened gravitas. I don't know what I'm saying. It adds a great deal of extra importance to his decision. It's not just, which girl? Both girls want me. This is so great. Which he was never like that anyway. He's a very kind, he now her is a very kind person, Hazumu. But it's not just like a mostly arbitrarily unimportant decision, which, I mean, it never was anyway. He feels deeply about both of these people and he wants to make the right decision. He doesn't want to hurt either of them. But now there is an added suspense. Now it's a life and death decision. The stakes are heightened. You could consider that a positive and negative. You could say that it was artificially heightened, that was unnecessary, we didn't need it. But I think it was actually really nice. It was a bit of a left turn field, but it was an emotional journey, and I'm starting to derail a bit get a bit of rambling. Let's bring things back together a little bit. As I was reading it, I started to feel very strongly about what I hoped his choice would be, what I hoped the direction, the way it would end, what the result, the decision would be. And the more of it I read, the more strongly I felt about that decision, that I hoped they would go that route. But also, at the same time, the more I read, the more I started to feel like it's probably not going to go that way. It's going to go this other way, which I really didn't want it to go. But like I said, the more I read, the more my beliefs hardened about wanting it to go this way, but the more my mind became sure that it was going to go this other way, that I really didn't want it to go. And so as much as I was enjoying the read, as I read it, I was starting to dread the ending. I was like, it's going to go, it ain't going to go the way I want. And while I'm sure I will still love the manga as a whole, this ending that I'm certain is the route they're going to go is just going to leave a sour taste in my mouth. But, to my surprise, it went exactly the way I hoped. And when I realised that, it was just a beautiful ending, and it's so satisfying, and I think that's what's really elevates this manga to another level for me personally, is because I so wanted it to go the way, and it did. It went the way I wanted it. It was so good, and I think it was the right call. I think it was the right choice. And I think that's just a big part of this manga as a whole is, will he go this girl, or will he go this girl? Or will he go try and both, or will he go neither? So there's sort of the four main choices, and, you know, it's like a sports team. You've got to pick one and root for it. And when it goes your way, the one you were rooting for, it's so sweet. And I think it just made the most sense, and I think it just worked the best for the story. Now, if you've watched the anime, I haven't, but apparently the anime is different. So if you've only seen the anime and you're like, why would you like the ending? You're an idiot. Well, the endings are not necessarily the same. In fact, I believe they are different endings. I guess the anime came out before the manga finished, so they just made up their own ending. I actually also might have heard the anime might have like two endings. Like they went one ending, but then they did like an OVA or something and did like a different ending. So it was just it sounds like a big mess, quite frankly. And I think this is, to reiterate another point that needs to be reiterated. Just don't watch anime in general, just read the manga. Also, quick note, what does Kashimashi mean? Kashimashi. I'm not really sure. I tried looking it up and was not finding some things, but I found something that it was some sort of reference or play on words of a Japanese saying or phrase, or something to do with when three women gather, it's noisy or something. I don't know. I actually remember Tomo Takano saying something like that in Azumanga Daioh, or alluding to that. So I actually kind of heard that before, the whole noisy women three something. I don't really know what that means. I think Kashimashi relates somehow to that. Maybe it's a pun related to that. I don't know. But I guess that kind of makes sense. There's three women, I suppose. But one question remains, is it a Yuri? And a lot of you might be like, well, obviously it is. But a lot of you might be like, well, obviously it's not. I mean, the main character was a guy, but then, very early on in the manga, gets reborn as a girl. And you might say it is anti-trans of me to even suggest the possibility that it's not a Yuri, but I reject that notion because I think it's actually the exact opposite. Because just because he is reborn in a female body doesn't necessarily mean he's a female. Because it's not, is it what's on the outside? Is it the body? Or is it the mind that's important? So before you get your knickers in a knot, think about that. I believe the pro-trans movement would actually would imply that the fact that his body was recreated as a female body is irrelevant. All that matters is his mind. Now, you might disagree with that. It may be, well, you think what's important is the body. It's like, well, he has a female body now. He has a functional vagina and tits, and his entire body has been changed. He's a female body. It doesn't matter what his mind is. I don't know. I'm just posing the question. If you take my mind and you put it in a pig, then you could make an office meme like, these two pictures are the same because I'm a fat, disgusting pig slob. But, no. But if you put my brain and put it into a pig, does that mean that I'm now a pig? Or am I a human man trapped in a pig's body? Food for thought. Is this a Yuri manga? Or is it not? But I think it's kind of a moot point because he doesn't try to fight it, really. He accepts that he is now a she. And she just sort of says, like I sort of mentioned, she just says, like, I'm a girl now, what am I going to do? It is what it is. She basically accepts it, so the argument of is he a guy or a girl is sort of irrelevant if the brain, if he just accepts in his mind that he's she, and now she's a she, and the body's a she, what are we even talking about? Pigs and I'm a pig. Yeah, I really enjoyed the manga. For a rating, I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think it was really good. If you like romance stories or whatever, it's a love triangle. Yuri love triangle, but with some magical sex shift stuff. So, and look how cute she is. That's Hazumu. We don't really see her as a him at all, really. We see like brief flashbacks and briefly the video, but we like don't really see him at all. It's from behind. We don't really see his face. Just thought you should know that. Being a girl is harder than it looks. For Hazumu, that couldn't be truer. Because just the other day, she was a he. There you go, that sums up the manga. Actually, it doesn't, because like what I've said over the course of the review, the fact that Hazumu was a guy and now she's a she isn't that huge of a focus, although it is for the other characters. Their reactions to him changing is a focus, but still, it's the love that is the main driving force of this manga. And I love the ending, and I think it was perfect ending and the right choice. And I don't think I really have anything else to say. I don't think there was anything else I actually wanted to say that I've forgotten to say. There were things I wanted to say that I didn't say as good as I hoped I would say them, because I'm an idiot. But I think I made my points well enough to say that pretty much sums things up. So thanks for watching. And as always, Sammy was screwed.
It's just another Tuesday. Tuesday. And if you were in for a spell where it falls into an order, you can help that. Well, yeah. No.
How am I gonna... I'm trying to...